I feel like I saw the writing on the wall as soon as they split with Activision, and I called it out. And there are videos where I was talking about it, and I got called crazy for a long time. And it's not meant to be an I told you so. It's just, it really sucks to see the thing that you worked hardest on and put a decade of your life into just slowly dwindle away.
You already know what I'm about to say. You felt it. Maybe you felt it years ago, like I did. The moment the split happened, the moment the suit started talking about new directions and live service evolution, something in your gut told you this wasn't going to end well. And look, I tried to warn people. I stood on camera, looked straight into the lens, and said this is going to be a slow drowning, not a crash, a drowning. You don't see it coming all at once. You just wake up one day and realize you can't breathe anymore. And they called me crazy. For years, they said I was negative, that I didn't understand the long game, that Bungie knew what they were doing. Actually, wait, let me rephrase that. They didn't just call me crazy. They buried me. They buried anyone who spoke the truth about where this was headed. Because the truth was inconvenient. The truth meant admitting that the thing we loved was being hollowed out from the inside. Here's the thing though. I woke up today and I thought I was being trolled. I thought, no way, not like this, not after everything. But apparently Bungie is ending support for Destiny 2. No more expansions. Just an update, they say. Just a little something to keep the lights on. We both know what that means. That's the language of abandonment dressed up like a hug. They're not ending support because the game failed. The game never failed. We didn't fail. We showed up, we raided, we grinded. We bought the expansions, the season passes, the cosmetics, the everything. We built communities, friendships, whole lives inside this world. And what did they do? They took the money and they ran. Not all at once. That's not how they do it. They run slowly. One resource diverted here, one team moved to marathon there, one promise delayed, one roadmap trimmed. And by the time you realize they're gone, you're standing in an empty room wondering where everybody went. You know, just like I know this wasn't a creative decision. This was a calculation. The numbers stopped working the way the investors wanted. So they pulled the plug. But they didn't pull it dramatically. No grand funeral, no graceful goodbye, just silence. A quiet announcement buried in a patch note. Because that's how they've always operated. Control the story, control the outrage, keep people confused enough that they don't know who to blame. But we know who to blame, don't we? I need you to stay with me here. Because this is where it gets personal. I put a decade of my life into this game, not just playing it. Building on it. My channel, my career, my friendships, the house I bought for my mom. That all came from Destiny, from you guys watching, from us sharing moments together. And I'm not saying this to make you feel guilty or to fish for sympathy. I'm saying it because I want you to understand what betrayal actually feels like. When you love something that much, when you pour that much of yourself into it, and the people in charge treat it like a disposable product, that hurts in a way that's hard to explain. And look, I know some of you are thinking, it's just a video game. But it's not. You know it's not. Because the community aspect, the friendships, the late nights laughing with people you've never met in person, that's real. Those memories are real. And watching that get dismantled by greed, by leadership chasing quarterly reports instead of building something meaningful, that's not a gaming problem. That's a spiritual problem. That's what happens when the people at the top stop caring about anything except the bottom line. And the worst part, they expect us to be grateful. They expect us to say thank you for the 10 years. Thank you for the memories. Now please quietly move on so we can sell you the next thing. I'm not going to do that. I won't. Let me slow down for a second, because this part actually matters to me in a way I don't usually talk about. When I was able to buy that house for my mom, I don't know how to say thank you for that. I literally don't know the words. My dog Addie lives there now. She's happy. My mom is safe. And none of that happens without this game and without you guys. So when I watch Bungie walk away from Destiny like it's nothing, like the past decade was just a transaction, it feels personal. It feels like they're spitting on everything we built together. And maybe that sounds dramatic, but I don't care. I'm tired of pretending everything is fine. I'm tired of being polite about people who broke something beautiful because they got greedy. And this is the part nobody talks about. The Sony acquisition, the leadership shake, ups, the quiet exodus of the people who actually understood what made Destiny special. They didn't just end support for a game. They ended support for a community, for us, for the people who stayed when the content dried up, who kept rating when there was no incentive, who kept making videos even when the views dropped, because we believed in something. They don't want you to know how calculated this was. They want you to think it was inevitable, that all live service games die eventually. But that's not true. Warframe is still standing. Other games still have communities that feel alive. So why not Destiny? What happened? You already know. The truth is, Bungie stopped treating Destiny like a world and started treating it like a wallet. Every decision, every expansion, every nerf and buff and seasonal model, designed to maximize engagement metrics, not joy. And when the metrics started slipping, they didn't ask themselves, what did we do wrong? They asked, how do we extract more with less? That's when you knew. That's when we all knew. But nobody wanted to say it out loud because saying it out loud meant admitting that the thing we loved was already dead. We just hadn't buried it yet. Now they're giving us one last spike, one final Pantheon event, one last chance to remember what it felt like when the game was alive. And then nothing. Quiet. Maintenance mode. The digital equivalent of a nursing home. And they'll call it a graceful sunset. They'll say they're proud of what they built. They'll thank us for our loyalty. But I'm not thanking them. I can't. Because loyalty is supposed to go both ways. And they left us a long time ago. They just finally stopped pretending otherwise. I think about the raid teams I used to have. The way we'd spend hours just laughing, failing, trying again. The way strangers became friends, became family. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when a game has soul. And Destiny had soul. It had main character energy, like my friend Glad said. Marathon doesn't have that. Most games don't. Bungie used to pioneer things. Online matchmaking, live service that actually worked. But somewhere along the way, they stopped being pioneers and started being accountants. And I'm not saying there weren't good people there. There always are. But good people don't matter when the people above them only see spreadsheets. So here's where we are. Destiny 2 is ending. Not with a bang, with a whimper. An update, a patch, a quiet door closing while everyone's looking the other way. And I have to decide what to do next. I have Dark Souls videos planned. Terraria, games I never got to play because I was so all in on Destiny. And part of me is excited. But part of me is just angry. Not at the game. At the people who killed it. At the system that rewards extraction instead of creation. At the way nothing beautiful is ever safe from people who see it only as a resource. They don't want you to know that you were right. They don't want you to know that your suspicion, your frustration, your feeling that something was wrong for years. That was all correct. They want you to doubt yourself, to think you're being too emotional, to accept the spin and move on. But I'm not moving on. Not yet. I'm staying right here and telling the truth. The truth that we all saw. The truth they tried to silence by calling us crazy, by calling us toxic, by calling us haters. We weren't haters. We were people who loved something and watched it get destroyed by people who didn't love it at all. And here's the question I keep coming back to. The one I can't answer. The one I'm going to leave with you. If a community builds something beautiful together for 10 years, and the people in charge burn it down for profit, who really destroyed it? Them for lighting the match. Or us for handing them the lighter and trusting them not to use it because we did trust them. We trusted them for years. And they proved, finally, completely, that trust was something they were never worthy of. So what do we do with that now? What do we do when the thing we loved is gone, and the people who took it from us just walk away with our money and our memories and never say they're sorry? You tell me, because I honestly don't know anymore. All I know is I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep making videos, keep building, keep telling the truth, but I'm never trusting them again, and I don't think you should either. What do you think happened to the people who tried to warn us? The ones who spoke up early and got silenced, got blackballed, got called crazy. Where are they now? Actually, don't answer that, because I think we both know. They're right here watching, waiting to say, I told you so. Except it's not an I told you so. It's just pain, just grief, just the slow, quiet anger of being right about something you desperately wanted to be wrong about. And that's the part that hurts the most. Not that we lost the game, but that we were right about exactly how we'd lose it. And nobody listened until it was too late.